What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Old Cranky Man Collectibles YouTube channel. My name is Blake, and I'm here with Stefan.
Hi, hello. Little soothing voice for you here.
Sultry.
What are we doing?
We are watching. This is actually round 2. This is not round 1. This is round 2 of the Canadian Highlander quarterly qualifier. And at the bottom of your screen, we have Cole. He's playing Temur. His points are Ancestral Recall, Mana Drain, True Name Nemesis, and Treasure Cruise. At the top of your screen is Joe. He's playing Jund Blitz. This is Joe's pet deck, his baby.
Yeah.
He is on Mox Price of Progress. Joe's going to get things started off here with a Hex Drinker.
Ooh, good turn 1 drop. Can you share me the screen?
Can you not see the screen?
I cannot.
Oh my god, my man. Hang on just a second. Looks like Cole's going to crack a fetch land. He's got a volcanic island coming.
Let's see.
Should be able to see that now.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And an in-step Ancestral Recall.
Yeah, Cole's sort of doing the Temur what Temur Tempo wants to do, right? And it's interesting to see him do it end of set, but it makes sense. You know, don't want to discard
a hand size.
Yeah, you want to roll into your turn 2 with a 9-card grip.
Here's a Tropical Island.
Perfect mana.
And he discards to hand size. Back to Joe.
My gosh. Go to 8, discard a card. What did he discard there? Do we see?
I am not sure what that was.
Okay. Man.
Joe's cracking a fetch land here. So Joe's deck, Jund Blitz. This is his baby. This is his pet deck. He has basically what is haste.deck.
Right.
This is an
How high does his curve go?
3.
Okay.
Yes, this is an aggroiest aggro deck, as if you have never seen an aggro deck before.
Interesting.
A lot of stuff has haste. This is a Robber of the Rich here, and it looks like it's
the Rich.
Cole's thinking. It looks like a Spell Snare is going to take care of the Robber of the Rich. So Hex Drinker going to come across the red zone here. Take Cole down to 17.
That was probably the right call. Being up on hand size there, Robert was going to do some work.
Taking any amount of damage from this deck is dangerous. Because not only does he have tons of hasty threats, but also he's running all of the good burn spells.
Is he running any combat tricks?
That I am not sure of, to be completely honest. So an in-step opt into a main phase preordain here from Cole. He's just going to sculpt, try to find the answers before this Hex Streaker can get protection from everything.
The perfect hand, as we call it. Looking for that perfect hand.
That is always the goal.
And also filling up that bin. Presumably, Cole has some amount of Murktide Regents.
He does have Murktide Regent. He has Treasure Cruise.
Yeah. So he just being able to fill up the bin, get some value from it later, and sculpt his hand right now. So that's a Gallia.
This is a Gallia.
Another hasty threat. I presume.
So fun. How do you spell that? Gallia.
Galea, I believe.
Gallia. Where's she
of the
at?
Endless Dance.
There she is. Gallia of the Endless Dance. Yeah. A 2/2 haste for 2. Other satyrs get +1/+1 and have haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may discard a card at random. If you do, draw 2 cards.
Oh, and we got a pyro.
Here's a pyrokinesis, I think.
Pyrokinesis.
Pyrokinesis.
Pyrohemia is the red. What is it? Enchantment that you can pay a red to deal 1 damage to each player and creature. It's Pestilence, but red.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Pyrokinesis is the red force of will.
Yes. So Pyrokinesis, you can exile a red card from your hand.
And there's an Uro.
Divide 4 damage among any number of target creatures. So Uro's going to come down, gain 3 life, get Cole a card, let him play another land, and we'll pass back to Joe. Joe looks like he is stuck on lands. I didn't see a third land drop.
Yeah, no.
But once again, Joe curves out at 3, so he doesn't need a ton of lands. Here's a Deathrite Shaman.
And a Curd Ape.
And that is a Curd Ape.
And
this is one of the very few decks in the format that can play a Curd Ape with a straight face.
Ook, ook. We return to Monk. We always return to Monk.
It was one of my favorite cards when I was a small child.
Yeah, still very good. Was this banned, or is that... I'm thinking Wild Nicodle that was banned in Modern for a time.
Yeah, it was Wild Nicodle that was banned.
Yeah, Curd Ape still an all-star. On curve 2/3 for a 2/3 for 1, pretty good. And now Joe sort of has a weird level of inevitability. And there's the Murktide. I was gonna say he's gonna be able to eat that Uro out of his opponent's graveyard
with the Deathrite Shaman. So
yeah,
if you saw there at the beginning of the turn, it appeared like Cole was thinking about trying to escape the Uro, but if you see there, he has a basic mountain, which will not allow him to do that. So Murktide Regent is the play instead. Going to leave up a couple of mana here. Pass back to Joe.
This is a 7/7 Regent, right?
4 counters on it. Yep, it is a 7/7.
It's a thick boy. Can't Fatal Push him. Too big. Too big on the top. Too big on the bottom. Ook, just getting in. Dare you to block me.
Bold, if I do say so myself.
Love it. Yeah, do we have probably not a Temur Battle Rage.
Temur Battle Rage not going to do much here in the face of this Murktide Regent if he chooses to block.
Yeah.
He does just take the 2 damage. And 2 mana come in.
Let's see what it is.
That is a Dismember.
Which member? Wait, so is that going to kill the Regent?
I would imagine he probably has a Flame Slash or something like that to finish it off, but a Remand is going to send that Dismember back to Joe's hand.
Ooh, just cost him 2 life there.
And he will pass back to Cole. Cole takes a draw step.
Cole, now knowing the Dismember in hand, kind of gets to play around it a bit.
Yep, and that Ancestral Recall there on turn 1 is just going to continue to fuel him for the remainder of this game. Here's a True Name Nemesis, my boy. Going to come down and get protection from Joe.
You could choose another player. Himself, maybe? We're making suppositions here that Cole has made the correct choice. You can misclick.
Unfortunate. True Name Nemesis, one of the best cards that he could possibly have against this deck. Not only is it going to be able to protect him from any attacker until he is able to pivot, but once he is able to pivot, Joe will not be able to block it. And unfortunately for Joe, a lot of his removal spells are not going to be able to deal with this True Name Nemesis. I'm not sure, but I do believe he has 1 copy of Invasion of Asgol in his deck. So if he is somehow able to free himself of this Murktide Regent and strand that True Name Nemesis as the only creature in play, he will be able to get rid of it.
Yeah, basically an Edict is the only answer in black.
I am not sure that he has many other things he can do about this.
There's an Ingress Rage.
Ingress Rage is going to get met by a Spell Pierce, and it looks like Joe is going to scoop him up here. So we are going to get to go to game 2.
That was way too much power that basically he couldn't do anything about. Cole just got to unload full powered Murktide Regent and a True Name.
This is what happens when you start off with an Ancestral Recall.
Oh, yeah. Just all of the cards all the time. And it wasn't just a recall. It was like recall into preordain, into opt, into just spell after spell after spell, sculpting his hand out. And Joe presenting very little pressure on board up front. Cole sort of just had the answers for everything he needed. we've seen Temur Tempo as a top tier deck in the format, time and time again, right? You get to play all of the best red spells, green spells, and blue spells, and those tend to be some of the best spells in the game, like Uro, Oko, Murktide Regent.
Yeah, absolutely. New additions including Minskin Boo and Lelia the Blade Reforged, which is also a key piece of Joe's strategy, being one of the best 3-mana hasty red creatures ever printed. So, talking a little bit about the point spread that you can have for Temur Tempo. My most recent Temur Tempo list point spread is Ancestral Recall, and can you guess? It is a 3-pointed card.
Is it a Mox?
It is not a Mox.
It's not a Mox. Strip Mine?
It is an Underworld Breach.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I find that, as you saw in that game there, you can chuck a whole bunch of cards into your graveyard. And like having a Mana Drain and a True Name Nemesis and a Treasure Cruise is great. But what if you could have Ancestral Recall as many times as you wanted to on the same turn?
Yeah, you really...
What if you could have as many Lightning Bolts as you needed to make your opponent dead?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
I'm not saying it's the best thing that you can do. I'm saying it's something that you should consider.
The deck does play a certain amount of ancient or ancestral. Oh my gosh, Eternal Witnesses, Eternal Witnesses, just to get the recall back, right? And Breach is just another.
So a lot of the tempo decks don't play the recall stuff. The Temur mid-range decks do not. Eternal Witness. The mid-range decks do tend to play stuff like Eternal Witness and Regrowth. The tempo decks sometimes they have a Regrowth in them, maybe a Noxious Revival. Generally speaking, the only way they can get it back, though, is Snapcaster Mage. Here's Gutter Bones.
So bony. Great 1-drop.
It is a 2-power attacker for 1 mana that can come back from the graveyard. This is exactly the kind of start that Joe wants here. So a lot of his creatures, if they don't have haste, are tremendously undercosted for what they are.
And this one... undercosted in both directions, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like being able to and just like not being able to deal with it in any meaningful way.
Outside of exiling it, there's not much you can do about getting rid of this guy. He is going to come back eventually.
Yeah. And as threats go, Joe likes to be able to just throw bodies at his opponent, like just chuck him into the meat grinder, see what happens.
Right. He is not looking to try to parry anything. Whether or not he wins, he will certainly know probably in the first few turns of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So Joe is always going to have time for snacks.
Oh, God, you love to see it. Oh, Bone Crusher Giant.
Bone Crusher Giant is going to take care of 2 points of Cole's life total.
Stomp him down, baby.
And we'll pass back to Joe here.
I personally would have held on to that. The stomp allowing you to kill a True Name Nemesis is pretty important.
Stomp kills True Name Nemesis?
If True Name blocks one of your creatures, you can stomp your opponent.
Right. And then yes, that is a thing that you can do.
I've killed True Names with this before.
So I believe that is it's the 3-mana hasty werewolf that can give another werewolf haste. What is that called?
Thunderstruck.
No. You see
ACDC. I always think of ACDC instead. That's on me.
And Ice is gonna tap down this Gutter Bones, and we'll pass back. Here's a Third Path Iconoclast from Cole, and a Mishra's Bauble to get a guy with it.
Trying to think of this card. I have a playset of it. I've played with it in the past.
Reckless Stormseeker.
Yeah, card's very good.
Yes, That is a
It doesn't
reckless
actually
choice.
have haste. It's even better because it gives a creature haste, including itself.
It can pass haste around.
Oh, it's so good.
And I do love that showcase art there. That is awesome.
Yeah. So we've got this iconoclast sort of representing the army in a can that Cole really wants in order to not die. And that's a questing beast.
Here's my boy. It's a questing beast.
The quarterback has entered the game. He's QB.
So Cole, unable to block here. He's going to need to have a removal spell to take care of this questing beast. Yep. Otherwise, it's just going to start chunking in. He'll crack a fetch here and go find a volcanic island. What has he got?
Questing beast is a must-kill threat. If you cannot deal with it, it will end the game way quicker than it has any right to.
Yes, a lot of words on that card.
And it blocks everything. Just, oof. This card getting trample from the Royal Scions kills Emrakul. that hurts the inside of your body when you have to block.
That is a very specific interaction. It's almost like somebody has done that to you before.
I have some inner trauma from this, yes. Oh. It comes up pretty frequently lately. Oh, and we've got an Unholy Heat coming down.
So he is blocking the Gutter Bones, which will give him Delirium and allow him to...
Oh, that's excellent.
Allow him to take out the Questing Beast with an Unholy Heat, and he gets to keep his friend around to play later.
Great play.
So the Construct token gonna come across the red zone for 1 damage here. And what'll be the follow-up? It's red mana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hooting Mandrill. Sorry, that's green mana. The Tiger making green mana there. It's another monkey.
It's, again, listen, what do I say? Every time, we always return to the monkey. The Hoots Magoots 4/4 Trampler. This is one of the most overlooked delve threats, in my opinion. Hooting Mandrills. Yeah, fun fact about mandrills. Mandrills are a real species of primate. They are not, in fact, apes. They are monkeys. This is a mistyping, and I am mad every time I see it now.
That's hilarious. What is this card that he just played here? So it was 4 mana, and it peeled the top card off, and it looks like he got to cast it.
Oh, that's a Bloodbraid Elf.
Oh, Bloodbraid Elf, right.
Yeah, that's
Bloodbraid Elf cascading into Unholy Heat, and Bloodbraid Elf gets taken out by a Lightning Strike.
Yeah. Unholy Heat, not doing a lot when you don't have any... I don't think he had Delirium, right? And all right, hang on. This is what I'm talking about. That Stomp.
And a True Name Nemesis.
Yeah, that Stomp.
Nope, you're not wrong. That Stomp would have definitely mattered this game.
Yeah.
Oh, assuming that he gets a blocker out here, I suppose.
Yeah. But a lot of people will just, especially if you're hammering in with a bunch of different threats all at once, if you're just swinging into the red zone and your opponent has a True Name, they'll oftentimes just block a 1/1, right? With the True Name, or like whatever X3, Ingrass Rampage coming in, taking out the Hoots. Joe's not in a bad position right now. He gets to cast the Bone Crusher Giant.
Right. His opponent at 9 life is going to have to leave this True Name Nemesis back on defense for now.
Yeah, and notably, if Bone Crusher Giant is given trample, it will try to deal 1 damage to the True Name Nemesis, and the rest will just roll into Cole.
Right.
And I'm assuming that he has some amount of ways to do this.
So Cole just going to pass back here, leave this Merfolk up on defense.
Do you know a card I would love in this deck?
What's
Gore
that?
Clan Rampager.
Sure. Sign me up for all of that.
Channeling it.
Gore Clan Rampager being the actual Gruul Charm. It's going to get remanded back to Joe's hand.
Yeah, Croxa trying to come down, getting bounced back. Are we going to recast it? Joe on a lot of mana this game.
Looks like he does not have requisite manas to be able to cast it.
Oof. That's rough.
Cole's just going to take a draw step and pass back to Joe. Joe's going to take a draw step.
Yeah, and we can see that true name just being the best wall, right?
Yes.
Like no wall better.
He attack, he protect.
And there's that Croxa again. Let's see if it eats another counter spell. Yeah.
It is a stifle. So he stifles the discard and lose 3 life trigger, and Croxa is just going to find his way into the graveyard.
Shocking that he didn't stifle the sacrifice effect.
Unfortunately for Joe.
Yeah.
Here's 2 mana. This is a Robber of the Rich.
Robert the Rich coming in again. Yeah, your opponent's at 9 life right now. Do you just swing in?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Just let him, because if he swings in, that's sort of a mind game, right? He has 2 mana up.
So the benefit of swinging in is that he will get to peel a card with the Robber of the Rich.
Correct.
Unfortunately, if he's unable to cast that card this turn, it will go away, as Cole can block the Robber. And then if he doesn't have another rogue to attack with in the near future, he'll never get to cast that card. So I kind of like holding off a turn so that we can have our mana untapped before we push in.
Yeah, I like that.
Here's a Scavenging Ooze. I would imagine going to make quick work of that Croxa in the graveyard.
I should hope so.
See ya. Crox is going to get exiled. Cole's going to gain a life. He'll go up to 10.
Yeah. This is really going to do a lot for Cole. Like, being at 9.
And now perhaps we're in a position, just like that. True Name is going to enter the red zone, knock Joe down to just 5 life, and this is going to be a very, very fast clock.
Joe really needs to do something here. Got to either take care of that Scavenging Ooze. There are ways for his deck just to immediately represent lethal, though, right? Like, his opponent has a 3/3 blocker right now with no other mana.
Very good draw. So here's a Lalia the Blade Reforged. Lalia is going to allow him to draw a card. He'll also get to bottle a card with the Robber of the Rich. I like this attack.
Yep. Yeah, and he has to block, I believe, one of them, or he'll go to 1. If he doesn't block, he'll just go to 1.
Well,
which is too dangerous.
I don't know if I like attacking with everything, because if we miss on those 2 draw steps, we die. So I like attacking with Lalia and Robber and leaving Bonecrusher Giant back to block.
I would attack with the other 2. I would attack with Robber, with Lalia and Bonecrusher.
And leave the Robber of the Rich back.
Because either of those kill the Scavenging Ooze. Whereas,
they trade. Okay, that is true. Yes.
Yeah.
He is getting busy with everybody.
Okay. Yep.
Holy cow! So, Cole is tapped out. This is a Portent.
Probably not going to cast Portent.
Lalia is going to rip a. What is that?
That kill spell that kills something with power and toughness total 5 or less?
No, that is not a cut down. So it looks like Cole is blocking the Robber of the Rich. Robber of the Rich is going to go away.
Yep. Makes sense. That's what I would do. If Joe's got a bolt, this is it.
Without a blocker here, though, I am concerned.
If Joe's got it in hand, though, it's just time.
It looks like he's going to cast the Portent.
Interesting. Really looking for that lightning bolt. Ooh, did you get there? I saw a
Portent will allow him to look at the top 3. He doesn't actually get to draw a card until Cole's upkeep,
interesting.
Though. It's a delayed ponder.
Yeah. You don't get to shuffle though, right? Oh yeah, it's shuffle.
Yeah, so it's literally ponder, except he doesn't get a draw
ponder.
Until the next turn.
Interesting. What is that card?
Is it a reanimate? No, it can't be a. It is a reanimate. It is a reanimate. Yes. What art is that?
It's probably from Dominaria Remastered.
So.
Some light tapping. Some light tapping happening. If this is new art, I have not seen it.
It's not a reanimate. What is this card? It put the that is an unearth. That's what it is.
Okay, it is a reanimate, but not the reanimate.
Yes, it is this unearth right here.
Lightning Skelemental unearth.
Reckless Stormseeker.
Yeah, he's getting the Stormseeker back, but that's on the art. On that art of the unearth is Skelemental.
Royal Scions is going to be GG here.
This is going to end the game. Yeah. He's going to be able to give something trample in first strike. Rough. Yeah, that's
he passes back.
That was game, right?
Yeah, you just buff the you just buff the True Name Nemesis and crash in. Joe's at 5.
Yeah. That should have killed him.
Interesting. Oh, Cole did tell me he missed lethal.
Okay. This is sort of coming back to it.
I do remember Cole telling me that he missed lethal in this game now. So I guess that was the lethal that he missed. So
okay.
Everybody is going to get in the red zone. It looks like Reckless Stormseeker's trigger is going to target the Laelia. Laelia is going to go up to 4/4.
Mm-hmm. Eat some amount of delicious noms with this Scavenging Ooze. Probably the gutter bones. Nope, the questing beasts. Gotta take out the quarterback here. I like that unearth though.
So it looks like Laelia will trade with Scavenging Ooze, and then Reckless Stormseeker is going to come across for 2 damage here and knock Cole down to 2. True Name Nemesis will get to stick around.
Yeah, True Name just kills Joe. Right?
He is at 5.
Yeah, he can pump it with the.
He surely doesn't. He surely doesn't miss lethal twice, does he?
I should hope not. Yeah, this being at two life, you're sort of like pressed to do it correctly.
He missed lethal again.
Oh my god.
Cole. I'm sorry, buddy. 3 mana for a Laelia.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think. I can't believe he missed that 2 turns in a row. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he could.
So it looks like both creatures are going to crash into the red zone here, looking for a top deck, and
he's gonna.
Okay, so Joe, being a gentleman and telling him now, he probably could have waited until after game 3.
Yeah.
So presumably Joe just says block with the Deathrite Shaman there, and then
take 3, get a 2.
I suppose since Cole attacked with the Laelia, he was trying to peel maybe a burn spell off of the top to finish Joe off. But it looks like we're gonna get a game 3 here. I can't believe it.
Okay, sure, let's do it. Oh my gosh, Magic, a game that happens in the mind as much as on the battlefield. And not seeing lethal and not seeing lines, I don't know how many times I've missed lethal, just like right in front of me, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, me too. So many times.
You're focused on a play rather than how much life your opponent has. And you're like, wait, I could just kill you if I attacked. And they're like, yeah, you could have done that 2 turns ago. And you're like, oh, well. A little bit of a...
Generally, a lot of that comes down to posturing. Like if your opponent is holding a bunch of cards, you might be playing a bit more conservative than you need to be. You never know what they're going to have in their hand, though. But,
not dead.
I'm never going to complain about getting to see a game 3 here.
Don't possum. Don't pretend you're dead. Always pretend you're alive.
Looks like Cole's going to send him back and take a mulligan.
Yeah. The Temur Tempo mulligans pretty well, right? We're going to be able to shape our hand.
It's a flexible deck, so you're not asking for a much out of your hand, mostly just a nice mixture of lands and spells.
Yeah, it's running a lot of good threats too. Man, Hooting Mandrills.
The threats in Temur are premium.
Getting a 4/4 trampler for what is effectively 1 mana is extremely good.
Right.
And everybody plays I don't know if everybody, but a lot of people play Gurmag Angler.
And you have to delve 1 less cards for Hooting Mandrills, right?
Yeah, it's 1 less power and toughness, but it still has it has trample.
Right, fair exchange.
Yeah. Green, man. Why is the fish so big though? Right, Gurmag Angler. Why is he so big?
He's a giant fish.
No, he's not. Just a fish, a zombie fish actually.
Unfortunately for Cole, looks like he's going to go down to 5 here. Never what you want to see in a game 3.
Ugh.
Happens to me every time.
After missing lethal twice.
Happens to me every time, Cole. I feel for you, buddy.
Yeah.
I have been there so many times.
I'm not going to give away too much here, but it is sort of a thing, and having a game 3 that's super lopsided always kind of stinks. You want the game 3 to be the best game of the series, right? You and I played a couple weeks ago, and I was on Pattern Rector, and you were on Dragons.
Yes, I recall this game.
And our game 3 was rad.
Yes, it was.
Our game 1 and 2 were good, but then game 3 was super good.
Yeah, it was.
And you got there eventually, but we were back and forth constantly.
Yes, it was a very, very good game of Magic.
Counterspells are much better when your opponent plays good cards.
Rip.
Just Goblin Guide.
That is a Monastery Swift Spear.
Oh, Swifty, yeah.
It's going to get
into bolt.
It is going to get met by a lightning bolt here. Going to pass back to Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we are casting a
blue mana spell.
Believe it is a preordain. So one top, one bottom. We'll draw. Sorry, sleight of hand.
Yeah, one on bottom, one on hand.
And then he will follow that up with a Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Must have drawn the DRC, otherwise he would have played it first. Yeah, like you're not playing the DRC second unless you draw.
Yeah, I mean DRC does have this inherited ability to make all of those cantrip spells way better.
I know that there's a lot of feelings about Ragavan in Modern. DRC, to me, represents a better long-term game plan for decks like Izzet than even Ragavan does.
Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 3/3 flyer if you are Delirious. So
correct.
Ragavan can be blocked by anything. And Unearth, going to bring back this Monastery Swift Spear here. And it looks like it's going to get followed up with a Rancor. I love this deck. It's so cool. So Monastery Swift Spear going to come across the red zone for 4 here.
That is delicious.
Pass back to Cole. Very low on cards after his mulligan. An Ancestral Recall going to just completely undo this mulligan. Surveil 1.
So Surveil 1 and then draw 3. Just an absurd amount of card advantage coming back.
It's like he will keep that on the top.
Oh my gosh.
And you can't ask for a better draw when you are on a mulligan to 5.
Oh yeah.
Here is a Consider, so we will Surveil.
Keeping it.
And draw that card.
Not worried about Delirium, it seems.
Fury exiling a Lightning Strike is going to take care of that. Monastery Swift Spear. Rancor will go back to hand, and we'll pass back to Joe. Sorry, we are attacking.
Yeah, you attack. You take that free attack.
Pass back to Joe. I don't know. Joe's deck has a lot of hasty creatures in it.
True, but he's sort of on... if we're at 14, I'm not trading off a blocker like my DRC. No. I think it's totally acceptable to. We just got. Is this almost all basics on Joe's side?
Yeah, he plays a lot of basics. He has what is that card? Price of Progress.
Yeah. And so K Command coming down, dealing with the DRC.
Yep. Kolaghan's Command going to take out the Dragon's Rage Channeler. And,
underplayed card.
What was the other? Oh, I love Kolaghan's Command. I've created more blowouts with Kolaghan's Command, I think, than probably any other Magic card I've ever cast. Did he make him discard a card? Is that what the other mode was?
Okay. Yeah.
So Careful Study. 2 cards coming. Gonna send a couple back.
Nothing super juicy to get back from the graveyard. It looked like a control magic for a second.
It's a Mercurial Spelldancer. So Minskin Boom, Mercurial Spelldancer going to hit the graveyard. Cole being stuck on lands is just the worst here.
Thought Scour.
He's having to dump these threats because he's looking for lands, and what he wants to do is have lands and spells.
Yeah. It's the worst possible thing for draw spells to try to be digging into lands.
Right.
You want to be digging into your good
that
cards.
is a Hellspark Elemental.
Wow.
It's gonna get the Rancor, come into the red zone for 5, and it's gonna go away at the end of the turn. I love a Hellspark Elemental.
Lightning bolt on a body?
Absolutely. I haven't seen a Hellspark Elemental in a long time. I love to see it.
And the Unearth, he gets to do it again.
Right, it's going to come back next turn, pick up the Rancor again, because that Rancor just keep going back to hand. That's an excellent synergy.
This feels like Joe's bread and butter in this deck. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Is Hellspark a 3/1?
Yes.
It's a 3/1, yeah. So it's 3/1 for 2 with Trample and Haste. So it has double trample with the Rancor. Basically does a backflip over its opponent's creatures. And we've got a 3rd land. Okay. Still got a game. So
and it looks like Ragavan is going to peel a Dreadhorde Butcher.
Dreadhorde Butcher, yeah. Another War of the Spark. All-Star. Are we casting it or no? No, it doesn't look like it.
He does not have the requisite mana to cast it, so he is going to follow that up with a Hex Drinker.
Yeah, the issue now is that was a dash card, and Joe can now get.
I guess he did actually have the mana to cast it, right? He has the treasure from Ragavan.
Yeah.
But it was just a tropical island, so
yeah, he would not
have been able to cast that.
Yeah. And he had a Hex Drinker in hand. Are we unearthing this Hellspark Elemental? Oof. It's tempting. It's hard not to, right?
I'm 100% unearthing the the Hellspark Elemental here. It gets to get in for 4, even if he blocks with a Hex Drinker.
Unearth Rancor, swing in. And I don't. If you're Cole, do you block with the Hex Drinker?
Just to save 1 point of damage? No, probably not.
Ooh, this is the.
Oh, it's the red. It's the red adversary.
Yeah.
Bloodthirsty Adversary, 2 mana, 2/2 with haste. It looks like it's going to cast the Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command is going to get pointed at the Hex Drinker, and Cole is going to have to discard his Ragavan. Just like that. Brutal.
Yeah, that's rough.
Kolaghan's Command, insane. Here's 1
mana. Is Cole
mana.
down to one card in hand now?
Gitaxian Probe. Cole has no cards in hand. So Joe's going to show him a fetch land and a Rancor.
2 cards, the best cards. Oh, man. And Joe just under no pressure at all here.
No, and he still has this Hellspark Elemental in his graveyard that he can flash back, or unearth, I mean.
Yeah, and we've got the Rancor in hand. So you can Hellspark, toss Rancor on the other creature. Basically, there's no way to block effectively.
He's waffling on it. What is he doing? Treasure's going to go away. He's going to flash back a Faithless Looting. So hoping maybe to peel into like a Fury or a Pyrokinesis or something there to take out the adversary. But really unfortunate for... He had a Pyrokinesis in hand.
You really need another red card.
Really unfortunate for Cole there. He was unable to get lethal in that second game there. So
what a series.
Yeah. Gotta love this Jund Blitz deck here from Joe. This archetype is sweet.
Any deck that runs Rancor, I'm a fan. I'd run as many Rancors as you let me put in a deck. There's a new one. What is it?
Audacity.
Yeah, run that card too. Card's good.
All right. Well, we have 3 more rounds of this tournament to cover.
Good.
A whole lot more content coming. Just want to thank everybody for watching the Old Cranky Man Collectibles YouTube channel. Please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. And we will see you guys in the next one.
Later, Gator.
Bye.